And you were also in a girls' band. Your own band?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that called?
It was called Sugar Babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the song that you sung?
It was called Sugar Time.
Okay. Do you remember any of the lyrics?
Maybe a little bit.
I was going to ask you to sing it, but that might be pushing it a bit. But
I think it was like, sugar time, getting up at 9:30, getting on our clothes, getting out this place. That's all I can remember.
brilliant! I never thought I'd actually get you to do that. So
Yeah.
you've just
Do you know what? We're going all out today as well.
You've just exceeded my expectations. That's awesome. You mentioned halloumi, and I banned myself from eating halloumi because I ate that much of it that I started putting on a load of weight because I love it.
Yeah,
you know?
me too.
Halloumi salad. Oh. And the
Me
pieces of halloumi in the salad went from little diced pieces to big lumps of halloumi like that, you know.
Yeah.
And myself and Will used to make it, and we got to a point where we said, we've got a problem, we're going to have to stop this, you know. We had halloumi salad probably 3-4 nights a week at one point. You know, just couldn't get enough of it. You had 2 funny stories in your notes, Hayley, at this point that I read. And one was about you cutting your own hair, and the other one was about a train. Now, start with the one about the hair first and tell us that.
Yeah. I think I was always destined to be a hairdresser. So my friends knocked on for me for school, my 2 best friends, because we lived kind of up the road from each other. So every day I was always a late one out of bed, so they'd knock on. And I'd trimmed like my hair the night before, and on one side of my hair it was all feathered and lovely, and they were like, "Oh, your hair looks amazing!"
Wow!
And then as I went, I'm just gonna go get my school bag, and as I turned, the whole of this side of my head had just been like hair had been cut off, and they were like, "What have you done?" And it was just literally, I think I had to go after school to the hairdressers to get my hair cut because I just got a little bit too excited with the kitchen scissors.
So you had a good side then, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then the other story is about a train. Now, this made me belly laugh when I read it. So tell us this one.
Yeah, so I just, it was when I got my first boyfriend, actually. He lived quite a bit away, and I was really nervous about getting on the train. So I got onto the train, and it went completely past his stop. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I don't know where I'm going. So I ran up the carriage over to the train conductor, and I was like, please, you're going to have to turn the train around because I don't know where I'm going. And he was like, that is not possible. And I was just like, oh no.
I have visions of you going up to the conductor saying, can you turn the train around, please? Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of guests that come on this show, Hayley, and it's quite sad really, but a lot of people were bullied at school. Willow was badly bullied at school. Sandy Holt was bullied at school, who went on to become a European Thai boxing champion. Colin Unsworth was bullied at school. He ended up spending a lot of time in the woods on his own and became an expert in mushrooms and was on Gardener's World. So some of the things that happen, some of the experiences can go on to drive us to succeed, or, you know, to motivate us to do things that bring us joy and bliss later on in life. But you were bullied as well, and you even give a detailed description of one of the things that happened. Maybe tell us about that.
Yeah, so at the time I just had my nose pierced, and they were quite tricky in the way they did it, actually. A couple of the girls that are not usually, you know, don't usually speak to me, they came over and they were like, oh wow, have you had your nose pierced? Let us have a look. So I was like excited that they were like interested. And as they came over, like 2 of them pinned me down in the park, and then one of them got like slugs and then put them into my mouth. It was just horrible experience.
Yeah. Then we talked about this, Hayley, off camera, and I think the way to do it is we'll touch on it and mention it without going into too much detail because there's lots of reasons why. But you then, how old were you at this point when you were abused, weren't you?
I was around the age of 13.
Okay, and this was a sustained period. It went on for quite a long time.
Yeah, it went on and off for about 2 years.
And without going into too much detail, which is difficult, we talked about this, it is difficult, but this is somebody, obviously, an older person that you knew or was trusted. Yeah. There's very little to say to, I don't know where you go with that, but there's a number of guests on this show that have actually been abused. A lot more people have been abused than I realised, and some of those people talk about it, and we've talked about it on camera to a degree. Others don't want to talk about it on camera, and I completely understand that, but you were brave enough to say that, you know, it's part of your journey and you wanted to, so I'm grateful for that, because for your story to make sense and to see the true value of it, because your story, when we get to where you are now and some of the things you've done, is very inspirational. And that amazing story is more significant by showing people what a rough ride you'd had, you know. So it's relevant. It's still relevant, you know. Now, this is a topic I'm very well versed on, and that is having a breakdown. I've had two. When I was in my early 40s, about 41, I had my first breakdown. I couldn't function, I couldn't cope, couldn't be around people. I just fell apart at the seams in every possible way. And I was depressed, and yeah, I was in a bad place. I then had a second breakdown, which was about 2.5 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And you think when you've had one that it won't happen again and it's all fine, but you can be, once you've had one, you can be very susceptible to have another. But the good thing is, once you've had one or two, you then learn to recognise the signs of when you ain't feeling good and when you start moving out of alignment, and hopefully have the skills to pull yourself back. So I still have wobbles and bad days and things, not that often, but if I do and I don't feel good, I try and stop what I'm doing, and I've learned some skills and techniques to get myself back on track. So Hayley, you had a mental breakdown too, so tell us a bit about this and why it happened and what happened.
Yeah, for me, I think it was quite situational, because in the space of 1 month, I broke up with my partner that I've been with for 5 years. I lost my business because me and my business partner were best friends, but it didn't work out between us.
Yeah.
And then because of that, this gorgeous house that I've been renting in Disbury, my dream house, I had to let that go, because when I had my breakdown, I was literally bedbound for a couple of months, so I couldn't pay the bills or anything, so I moved back in with my mum.
Yeah. When I had my first breakdown, I didn't go outside for a couple of months. I didn't open the curtains, you know, getting up, being motivated to get up and have a shower and just get out of bed, you know, was difficult. I just had no energy. I was so out of alignment. My external world and my actions were way out of alignment with how I felt inside, and the shell cracked.
Yeah. For me, how it happened was I was doing hairdressing and I literally passed out and I didn't know what it was, and that was the start of the panic attacks. And then when I got to my mum's house, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd feel like there was like a massive weight on my shoulders. And there was one occasion where, I think it was my birthday, and Marley had came in and was like, "Mum, I've got you a birthday card." And honest to God, I was facing towards the wall, and I remember not physically being able to pick my head up to turn it the other way to look at the card he got me. I just couldn't move out of bed. It's like my entire body had shut down. And then I had to learn then, Marley would get me up every morning and my mum would help me to get dressed and they'd help me to do my teeth, because it's like my brain had just forgot how to do everything.
Yeah. I developed a stutter for a period. I ended up having a really bad stutter. I couldn't speak. And I started having very bad anxiety consistently. And that feeling in your stomach, that sense of impending doom and dread is horrendous. And panic attacks, I'd never really had them before that. And I had full-blown panic attacks. And that's terrifying as well. And, you know, you think you're going to die. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a difficult period. So you ended up on a psychiatric ward?
Yeah.
And which one were you on?
I think it's Fairfield.
Okay. Where is that?
Bury.
Bury?
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people, not everybody talks about it, but a lot of people that have been on a psychiatric ward. Some have gone there voluntarily, others have been sectioned. And these are people that you wouldn't necessarily know, you know, people that are having a very successful, and when I say success, it's nothing to do with money. When I say success, I'm on about people that are enjoying the life, that are happy. And people that are having a very happy, joyful, successful life now. So it's something I say quite often at the part of nearly every show is when we talk about somebody's journey, your past doesn't define you. It's just your view on the journey to this present moment. It's just how you arrived here. This is what it's all about now, you know. And so this is why your story is so relevant, because although we're talking about a lot of trauma and issues you've had, then we're going to tell everybody shortly about what you've done since. This salon, although we might call it a salon, you do lots of other things there. I'm not going to read the list, you tell us, but I was amazed.
Yeah, we do a lot there. We do. We do all of natural holistic therapies. I also help women to feel more confident about their hair. So I specialise in great lengths hair extensions. To as you get older, your hair starts to thin. So I help women to thicken out their hair. I also do meditation workshops with my clients. We do self-confidence workshops. We also teach women about the law of attraction and money mindset and everything really.
Yeah. There was two things you put in your notes which stood out for me in this list of all the wonderful things you do at, let me get this right, XENO'S. Yay! XENO'S Haven. And I'll read what they are. The silent chair days for clients with anxiety. Yeah. I'd never heard of that. Tell us about that. Yeah,
I really like that one. So the main ethos that we have about our salon is we want people to walk through the door and immediately feel at home. I don't know if you've probably never been to a salon, but...
When I was 15.
But the worst thing that we always get is that if you walk into a salon and you just feel awkward, and we don't want our clients to feel that way. So they can ring up and they can request the silent chair. So after we've done the initial consultation, the client can sit down and we can leave them in peace for the next 2 hours and do the hair in silence.
See, I want to come now just for that, even though I'm not anxious.
I'll give you a scalp massage.
Oh, I'm on it. And then the second thing was the no mirror days.
Yeah.
What's that?
We got a lot of feedback when I was talking about the silent chair, and a lot of ladies were saying that they find it really difficult when they've got colour on their hair to sit and look at themselves in the mirror, which is really sad, really, that a lot of women feel that way. Yeah. So now I offer there is a back room where I take all the mirrors down and you don't have to stare at yourself for 2 hours if you don't want to.
Yeah. See, this all came about, although you've had a rough ride and difficult times and difficult situations and you've been through trauma, if you hadn't have done that, you wouldn't be doing this now because you've had those experiences. You now are thinking along that mindset of how can I make this easier for people that are anxious or people that have body dysmorphia or people, you're seeing it from the perspective. So it's actually a wonderful thing, although it isn't great at the time. You now have a centre, your salon, that's for people to go and get beauty treatments that aren't great mentally, that are struggling a bit. It's establishing a healthy routine, and that requires a bit of discipline. You need to know what works for you. So I say in the book, From Pills to Peace, you've got to try the 10 to find the 2. Try loads of new stuff, it's not all going to work for you. Yeah. But in order to find the 2 that do, you've got to try the other stuff. So find those things, figure out what works for you, and then once you have them, regiment it in your daily routine, and it needs to become part of your routine. For example, meditation. If you don't meditate in the morning, and then it comes to 11 o'clock, you think, I'll do it at lunch. And then you're busy at lunch. And you get to tea time, you get home, you've had your tea, you're tired. It doesn't happen. Attach it to clean your teeth, because you don't have to tell yourself to clean your teeth. That is integral in your routine. Mm-hmm. So attach meditation. When you clean your teeth, you meditate. When you clean your teeth, you meditate. Make it part of your routine, integral to your day. And that requires a bit of discipline. But if you can do that and you figure out the things that work for you, for me, meditation and yoga are 2 of those things, then you've got a really good chance of having a peaceful day, establishing that routine, and getting what I call a sustainable rhythm instead of having... You don't want to be really, really happy, but then be really miserable and doing this. What you want is just to be peaceful.
What I've done as well to integrate it in, if you've not got much time, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Louise Hayes who did the mirror, like the self-love mirror. Yeah. So what I do now is if I've not got time to do my affirmations, when I'm doing my workout in the morning or I'm doing squats in the mirror or something, every squat I'll do, I'll look in the mirror and be like, I love you, Hayley. I love you, Hayley. Just...
I've got it. You've got to be able to laugh at yourself and see the humour. I have pictures of you in a leotard with some weights on your shoulders doing squats in the mirror. I love you, Hayley. I love you, Hayley. I love you, Sean. He's brilliant. But it's funny too.
Yeah, and it condenses your time down as well. And another thing as well is discipline. I used to always see it as a negative, whereas now I've reframed it. So for me, I now tell myself discipline is a form of self-love. And at the minute, I'm working on self-love. So it's,
Yeah. People think that maybe things are just going to take care of themselves. And I do trust in the universe that on my general life path, that's going to happen. But for me to put myself back together again, it was hard work. It took a long time. And You know, it's not perfect now, but you know, it does. I say it's dead easy. Discipline, effort, and dedication. Dead easy. In order to get where you want to go, you've got to put yourself into it. You know, the universe will take you there, but it helps if you cooperate.
Take action.
You know, give it a fighting chance. It's like the joke where the guy speaks to God and he says, "Please let me win the lottery." And he says, "Well, for fuck's sake, buy a ticket."
So
you know, you do what you can anyway. You also do pamper days, Hayley, for the Wellspring ladies, is that right?
Yeah, we did it last year for Christmas time. So we invited all the ladies over, and yeah, they all got the hair blow dried. They got unlimited drinks. One lady actually fell asleep while we were blow drying her hair because she enjoyed it that much.
Well, must have been good then.
It was, and they all had the makeup done and the eyebrows done. And it just filled me with so much joy just to be able to give back and make those women feel amazing about themselves.
This salon, for lots of other reasons as well, you said you decorated it with your dad and then you bonded with him and you're listening to Motown and you sort of got closer to him. It also then enabled you to go on these treat special days with Marley, where you tell us about when you went to London.
Oh yeah, that was amazing, and it just kind of all fell into place perfectly. So Marley used to love this band called Panic at the Disco, and we booked these tickets, and when we got there, we ended up in this huge hotel, and we had a chauffeur who literally, as we arrived, well, first of all, they took our jackets for us and our bags and took them up to our rooms. And then we had this door that we could go through, so we was like literally at the front of the concert. And then the next day when we went to leave, we were walking off up the street with our suitcases, and this chauffeur guy pulled up next to us and he's like, "Oh, no, you don't need to walk anywhere. I'm going to chauffeur you both for the day." So he took us out around London in this car, and we were just like, wow, what an amazing experience that we both had.
And you watched, I had to look this up because I'm so uncool, but I said earlier, I still call it pop music, you know, but you went to watch Panic in the Discos.
Panic at the Disco, yeah.
At the Disco, yeah. That's a band, isn't it?
Yeah. And Marley loved it. And we paid about £28 each for a burger because it was like London prices. But it was just that memory and feeling so well, you know, going from a place where I couldn't even take Marley to school or take him to the park to be able to take him on a trip to London when I was feeling better. It was unbelievable, yeah.
Since all this has happened, now you've gone on to achieve a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it's a great list, this. So we'll start off with 10K. You've run 10K.
Oh my God. That was not easy.
No.
I think we were like the last ones to run at 3:00 in the afternoon. So it was really, really, really hot. But yeah, it was because my sister had said to me one day when I was poorly, she'd come round and she got me out of bed and she took me to the 10K finish line and she said, "Just watch these people's faces, watch the reactions as they cross that finish line." And then as we did it, she said to me, "When you're better, you're going to run this 10K race." And I did. Like a year later, lo and behold, me and my sister ran the 10K race. And yeah, the feeling was just out of this world.
I watched Iron Man initially, and I used to do weights, and I was about 5 stone heavier, on steroids, MMA fighter, completely different life choices and lifestyle, everything. And I went watching Iron Man, and I saw the people crossing the finish line. And these people, they weren't, admittedly, the ones that were in the top, say, 100, 200, supreme athletes. But then the second half of the field, as you get in, there's usually a couple of thousand competitors. There was no age theme. They were big, small, tall. There was some like 18 stone people that were overweight. Crossing that line, I thought, it's all about the mind. And you want to see the expression and bliss and joy when they cross that line. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do this, you know. And I realised as well, if some of the other people I'd seen do it can do it, I have no excuse, you know, because some of them were twice my body weight, but the same height. And it was really inspiring to realise it was about drive, motivation and mental strength. Obviously, you want to be as fit as you can be, but it's not... The Ironman isn't just for people who are supreme athletes. It's for everybody, you know, and it's about determination and discipline, like we talked about, and that inspired me as well. So if you're thinking of doing something, go and watch it. See the reactions on people's faces. See what human beings can achieve. We only achieve a fraction of what we're capable of. We don't understand our full potential. You could do an Ironman. I know you think, no, you could.
I'm doing it.
You could. You might think, oh, no, I don't know. I've only just done 10K. But if you can do 10K, you can probably do 20K. And if you can do 20K, you start to think, well, I can do 20, I can do 40. Why can't I do 40? And then you start to think, what can't I do? And you realise that
Unstoppable.
it's about putting your mind in the right place and choosing if it's something you want to do, dedicating yourself to that purpose. But you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
You also did some acting lessons, Hayley.
Yeah, I did. So I used to love acting at school, and then it kind of got pushed to one side when I became a hairdresser. And then years later, I just got this email through the post that was called DNA Acting, and it was about acting for confidence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I joined it, and that was definitely out of my comfort zone.
I've had some acting lessons, and initially I'd done acting workshops, and you're pulling faces, and doing that, making all funny noises, and then you're acting like animals and doing that, and you just think, I feel like I write it. But it's great, because why should you feel uncomfortable? And you learn a lot from that.
They teach you obviously how to get out of your head and more into your body and more heart-based. And I mean, it was very daunting because mine was like a TV and film. So you felt absolutely fine until the camera came here on you, and you just... I buckled under pressure. It was hard. It was hard.
I did it off the back of it. I did some show reels, and then I did there were only bit parts, extras and stuff, but I did Peaky Blinders, Scott and Bailey, and I did quite a few of the bits from that. And it was never going to pay the bills at that time. You got paid, but it was very small amounts of money. But great experience. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, really did.
I made some of the most incredible friends, and we're still friends to this day. We go out camping together, and they're all from different walks of life, and that is what I'm massively thankful for from doing those acting classes.
Yeah. I had to get massively outside my comfort zone to do that. But in doing that, my comfort zone shrank, or I expanded, whichever one you want to choose. And I think it's very healthy to get outside your comfort zone. Do new stuff where you feel like a tit, stuff where you're very uncomfortable, stuff where you think, what am I doing? But afterwards you think, oh, you feel good.
You do. And I think as well, because I was doing so many affirmations around the time, I felt like I was unstoppable. So I even joined this app called the Meetup app, and basically it was about meeting all new people. So I joined like walking groups, and it was just, I just thought while I'm going for it, I may as well really go for it.
Is that like Grindr, Hayley?
No, it's not a dating app. It's not a dating app.
What's that other one?
Bumble.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either.
You do, don't you? No, there's another one. What's the main one? Dating apps that people go
Tinder.
on? Tinder, that's it, yeah. I've never been on either, but I joke about it because I know what they are, but I've never been on them,
Oh, yeah. You don't need to bother.
What is the O.S.B.A. award? Tell us what that is, Hayley.
Yeah, so I got put forward for it last year, and basically it's for the person that's turned the life around and also has contributed to the community.
And you won it?
I did. I won it.
When did you win that? What year?
I think it was last year. We were going to have a big, massive, it was supposed to be at Manchester United ground, the new hotel. And I bought a new dress for it and everything, but with circumstances it didn't happen. But it was still an incredible day.
So you got the award, but you didn't get to do the ceremony and stuff. Well, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? At the minute, yeah. But you also said since then you now run monthly workshops to inspire other women by sharing my experience, wellbeing tips and meditation.
Yeah.
Are these online now? Because I know you're doing Facebook Live now, aren't you? Which is a recent thing.
Yeah. I actually got asked off one of my friends. She said, the ladies in my company just want to know when my salon closed, would you do some wellbeing talks? And I just started it that way. And then I've been asked by more people to do it now. So I've been doing it a little bit for companies. And then I'm going to create a group for just my clientele and, really help them over the next few weeks. So, yeah.
the Facebook Lives you've been doing, are they interviews? Are you being interviewed or are you interviewing somebody else?
I've done it all. I've tried it all, yeah. So I interviewed like meditation teachers and different people that that have inspired me. So yeah, I actually interviewed a lady called Holly, who was a CBT and counsellor therapist.
Yeah.
So that was really useful as well. So yeah, I've just kind of, gone for it.
And do the videos that you've done on Facebook Live then go on your YouTube channel? Is that right?
Yeah, they do, but I predominantly use Facebook most of the time. So all my videos that I've ever done are on my XENO'S Haven Facebook page.
Right, which we're going to put a link for at the end of this show. If people look in the text underneath when this goes live on YouTube, we're going to put a link for your Facebook page. And we're also going to put a link for your website as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Cold water therapy. Now, have you been in the water now? Have you done it?
Yeah, I've done it. It's incredible. It's the thing that I found most amazing is that you can actually control your mind, and whenever you feel like you're trying to label anything, it's about not labeling it. So normally we'll say it's too cold or I can't go in or things like that. But this guy taught us just to say, basically, shut the fuck up if your mind starts to kind of wimp out of it.
Yeah. I think if you overthink that, then you're thinking, I can't go in, it's so cold. And the anticipation can then become, instead of being exciting, it can end up being fear. And the trick is just to do it.
Yes.
Just do it. It's an amazing experience. And trust me, when you're freezing cold, you've got other things to worry about than paying your bills.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll definitely bring you into the moment.
Yeah. And I think since then as well, it's encouraged me to do the cold showers in the morning, because that was always a bit of a blockage for me. But I thought, you know what, I've done the, getting into the Lake District in January time. So nothing can be worse than that.
Naked or with the costume?
I had a swimming costume on. And like I said, what really helped me was that we had to be silent on the drive down there. And then I think because everybody else did it, you didn't want to be the one that wimped out of it. So the group took you in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. When I did it, on the last time I did it anyway, we were silent, and it becomes, rather than just being a laugh or fun, it becomes a spiritual experience, and it really is. It can be transformative. Now, this is quite amazing. You're clearly a lady that can get where water can't get, because you've gone from depression, anxiety, being suicidal, and being on a psychiatric ward, turn your life around, moving forward, doing lots of therapies, getting your own salon, helping a lot of people with all the things that you've been putting on there, then winning an award, running 10K, and then being on the Mental Health Commissioners panel. How the bloody hell did you manage that?
Yeah, so my name got put forward for it because I've had lived experience. They basically wanted someone on the panel so that when they did the funding for the new centre that they're opening up in Stockport, that it could, they had to tell me how they were going to improve services, and they knew that I would obviously be the best at that because I've been through the experience. Yeah,
it's like, my understanding is that drug counsellors, the best drug counsellors, certainly the ones that I've spoke to, have had drug problems in the past and they've overcome that. And then when they work with somebody that's got a drug problem, they've experienced it, they understand it, and they also have a very good idea of how to resolve it. Yeah. They're not allowed to tell you, though. Apparently, the drug counsellors aren't allowed to tell you they used to have a drug problem, but most did, certainly from my experience. This, obviously, because you've been on the other side of that fence where you'd been having issues and obviously even been on a psychiatric ward, then on the flip side of that now, you've experienced it, you've lived it.
Yeah.
So you can share that experience, and somebody that hasn't done it doesn't really fully understand. You do.
Yeah. And it was amazing to have that input and to know that the services are going to improve. And the actual organisation that I chose was other people that had set up an organisation, but they'd had lived experience too. So when you visit this wellbeing centre, it doesn't feel very clinical. Like, you go in and they'll make you some food, and all the whole environment and decoration of the place is quite warm and welcoming. So yeah, it's I need to signpost that because it's going to be incredible.
When I read this took a lot of courage. After 20 years ago, a long time ago, when you were abused, in the last year, in the last 12 months, you decided that you were going to go to the police and basically tell them about what happened. So maybe talk us through that.
Yeah. I think it was Marley, that really helped me with that decision. We were both on holiday together, and on the last night we had this really special meal, and he just kind of came out of it. It was like verbal diarrhea. He just said, "Mum, what caused you to have that mental breakdown? Like, I just don't understand it." And it was so amazing of him to have waited until I was in a stable place to ask me those questions.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, "Something must have happened, Mum, for it to have been that severe." And I thought, you know what, he's 15 years old. It's going to help him to know the truth. So I explained it to Marley about what happened when I was younger. And he said, "Mum, you need to speak out about this. One, you could help other people, but two, it's going to be a real deep healing process for you." I just thought, wow, this child is incredible.
That kid's amazing.
He is incredible. He really is. And and every time I thought, I can't go through this, I can't do it, Marley was literally there to hold my hand and was like, "Come on, Mum, you need to do this." And I did, and I rang the police, and I reported it, and I didn't mind where it went. I just needed to do it to
Offload it, get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, express yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the outcome is not as important. The fact that this stuff that's in here that's festering, you've got to get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, I am a true believer in forgiveness. It's all I ever work on. So there was never any bad feelings around it. I knew that he'd come from, obviously, maybe he'd been through abuse himself. I wasn't too sure about his journey. So I never held any bad feelings towards him. But I wanted to do it for myself.
Yeah. Kids are amazing. They're brilliant because as adults, we overanalyze and overthink everything. And sometimes when you want the best advice, they simplify it, they cut through the bullshit and they just say it like it is. And they say, "Mum, you ain't feeling good. Why not? Okay, you need to get that out." It's so obvious. But as adults, we quite often can't arrive at that straightforward conclusion because of all the crap that's going on in here, all the bullshit that gets in the way and all this overthinking. Kids, sometimes the best advice comes from children.
It really does. I think children are evolving faster than us now, and they're our greatest teachers. I mean, a year ago, Marley's gone vegetarian, and now I've followed shortly after. But he teaches me new things every day.
Yeah. Well, I've not met him, I only see pictures of him, but he looks, I would put him on a kin with, say, Paris, somebody like that, Paris Brooks, because he looks like a cool motherfucker.
He's got the afro like Paris.
Yeah, and he's got a pierced nose as well, has he?
Yeah. So,
I wonder where he gets that from.
Oh, I don't know. No. He's very expressive, Marley. He's very confident as well.
Yeah, but he looks like a beautiful lad anyway. Yeah,
and
that only comes from one place, and that's you.
Yeah, he's got a great heart and he's got a lot of empathy and compassion for people. But I do think it's because he's witnessed my journey, and
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, he loves his mum, doesn't he? So he wants what's best for you. So again, it's beautiful. Now is a good point, Hayley, for you to tell us about Old Man Joe.
Oh, Old Man Joe. He's actually like a guardian angel to me. Yeah, so the lady that was running the mental health cafe next door to me, she built up a really strong relationship with Old Man Joe, and they used to go for coffee once a week. And then he used to take her out to theatre shows and everything, and it was such a beautiful friendship they had. Anyway, when she moved abroad, she asked me if I would kind of take over the service. And oh my gosh, we've built such a strong connection and bond. And he's just wise. He's just full of wisdom. Well, I think when I was a kid, I used to think old people were a bit boring.
Yeah.
But now, like me and Joe, he's taught me so much.
Yeah. I don't often get the opportunity, often as I'd like, because I'm very busy. But when I do, some of the best times I've had have been with older people, you know, especially I've been on a cruise as well. And I started learning to ballroom dance and or playing dominoes, you know, in the pub with older people, this kind of thing. And yeah, they've great wisdom. Quite often they're really funny. Old people generally go one of two ways, I find.
Yeah.
They either go revert back to a childlike state, stop giving a shit about what anybody thinks, and become fun, you know, and enjoy every day and treat it as a gift. Others become quite mangled and twisted and overthink everything, and they become stressed and tense and can be quite bitter, you know, and you can see it quite often in the stance, and you can see by the posture and stuff, and it's a choice. And as I get older, I want to end up being one of the old people that has fun and goes skinny dipping and does silly stuff and doesn't care about what other people think. And when you see that, it's beautiful, you know, it really is. I don't want to become bitter and twisted, you know, and some people are like that, and they're just seem to be angry at the world.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to be like old man Joe. Like, he'll literally come into my salon, and no matter what kind of day he's having, I'll say, "How are you?" And he'll go, "I'm absolutely magnificent." And that will always be his answer. You know, he's very wise.
He wined and dined you a bit, didn't he? Took you out.
Yeah, he does.
To Bridgewater Hall, did you say?
Yeah, he's taught me so much. Like I'm so much more open-minded. Like, we've been to see classical music.
I love that classical music. I go a lot.
Do you?
When I can, yeah.
Very, very relaxing.
I've been watching London Concertante at Manchester Cathedral, which is a chamber orchestra, a world-famous chamber orchestra, and I've seen them probably 13, 14 times now, you know, and I've been watching Verdi's La Traviata in the State Opera House in Prague. I've seen every single one of Shakespeare's plays. Oh. You know, I love classical music. I like opera now and again because it's long. You know, Verdi's Traviata is about 4.5 hours long, I think. And I like the theatre as well, you know. But sorry, old man Joe.
Yeah, he's took me to some amazing places. So we've done Bridgewater Hall quite a lot. We've done the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yes. And then our favourite is a lady called Catherine Jenkins.
Yeah, opera singer.
Yes, oh my gosh, it's just... yeah, incredible. Yeah.
He is 25 years sober, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he used to be an alcoholic, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And then he once he turned his life around, he became he helped people at the Brian Orr unit. Yeah. So I don't know much about it, but it's basically a centre where he could go in and he could share his story and he could inspire people.
He's not very well now, is he, Joe?
No.
What's his situation?
He's actually got cancer.
Yeah.
So when he last went into hospital, I actually didn't think he was going to come out. I got a phone call saying that he wasn't coming out, and then lo and behold, he got better and he came out, and he's probably got about 3 months left at the moment, which is actually a gift because it just means that I can spend some quality time with him. Yeah,
if you know something's approaching, you can take appropriate action, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, and you get to say goodbye. So,
what we did as well last year, he's always wanted to go back to Wales. He's not been for about 20 years. So I took him to Wales and we spent the day on the beach. Yeah. And his only other request now that he's got is that he wants to go Blackpool. So if I can get a wheelchair and I can get him there, I will, because it's his one last little wish. So
yeah, get him some ice cream or a bag of chips on the front or something. So even if you sit in the car with the windows open, you smell the sea air, it's still beautiful. Yeah. So Joe was sort of partly responsible for helping you to stop drinking. Did you used to drink a lot?
I didn't drink. Well, I never thought I drank a lot. But Joe could always say, if he met up with me on a Monday for a coffee, he could always tell that I wasn't quite with it.
Yeah.
And you know when your days, if you drink on a Friday, you know, the beginning of your week's always writ off a little bit, isn't it?
I know it well because, you know, I mean, I used to drink a lot. There was a period in my life when I drank every day. Yeah. And then there was a period where I didn't drink during the week, but I got smashed at the weekends.
Yeah.
And this was obviously alongside drugs as well. And then I didn't drink for a few years. I just stopped completely. Now I have a very occasional drink. This year, drunk, I don't know, 3 times, maybe 4 times. You know, twice I think I've had what I call a good drink, where I've had 5, 6, 7 drinks.
Yeah.
And a couple of other times I've had 1 or 2 drinks. So, but the point is, it's very rare. It's very sporadic. And I think if it wasn't for the lockdown situation, I probably wouldn't have even drunk those times.
Yeah.
But I think you need a little bit of something for your sanity sometimes, you know, and it's good to let your hair down. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I had a handle on it. I'm happy. And so when I drink, I just drink. I'm having fun or I'm within good company and I enjoy it. Not drinking as a coping mechanism because I didn't want to be here anymore and I just drink to forget. Yeah. You know. And because you stopped drinking, then you said you started going to sober raves.
Yeah, I did. So the first few times, obviously, it's scary when you have to dance on the dance floor without any alcohol. Yeah, sober. And you've not even got like anything to hold in your hand, so you kind of like feel looking really awkward.
You've lost your force field, haven't you? You're like, oh God, I'm dancing, but I'm aware of what I'm doing and conscious of myself and all this kind of thing. But I mean, again, outside your comfort zone, because a lot of people, if you ask them, have you ever been to a nightclub sober? And quite a lot of people, no, actually, I haven't. You know, I think for a long time, many years, I don't think I'd ever made love sober. Well, if I haven't made love at all, I don't know. But I'm not talking about now. I'm going back years ago. But generally, I was pissed all the time. So, you know, and I was single for a long time as well. So I used to go out and there was a lot of one-night stands. I was a womanizer. And I'd always, if I went out first to a pub or a club before, you know, I'd meet somebody, I was drunk. So I couldn't recall when I last been with somebody who's sober, you know, for a long time.
It actually dulls your experience when you're drinking. You think that it adds to the experience, but they say that your senses and everything get dulled. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, and you probably think you're incredible and you're probably terrible, you know, like, da-da-da, and then you're actually a drunken fool, but, you know, yeah. So this is the big question. What's next for Hayley?
I have so many ideas. That's the thing. I want to do everything and create everything. And at the moment, I'm getting a business coach soon, so I can literally start to, you know, put my thoughts into order. But yeah, I want to grow my business. I want to expand it. Marley has been asking me for a long time now, Mum, we need our own house. And, you know, sometimes when you're working around boundaries, it's not always the easiest when you live where you work.
Yeah.
So I find it very hard to shut off. I am a little bit of a workaholic. So, yeah, my main goal this year is to move out from upstairs, turn the upstairs into a full functioning wellbeing centre. So have counselling rooms, therapy rooms, and then me and Marley get our own place to live. Yeah. That's my goal.
You're also currently doing a conscious relationship workshop, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Tell us about that, Hayley.
Yeah, so my friends Emma and Mickey, it's incredible actually. It's called Spiral Dynamics, so it teaches you about how all the relationships that you've had in your life, there was a reason behind why they wouldn't have worked, because you was at a different stage of your evolution process than where somebody else was who you was with. So because obviously I've been in quite a lot of toxic relationships and things like that, more than anything, like my biggest dream would be to meet someone, settle down, get married. And I really want to work on that part of me at the moment. So I'm doing a 6-month conscious relationship course where it's about when you meet that partner, being honest and being open and growing together and learning together, and creating, you know, if he triggers you, then it's about looking into that and why that is. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it actually.
So you're single at the moment?
Yes.
And how long have you been single for, Hayley?
Probably about...
You don't have to tell me.
Maybe about 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
A lot can happen in that period when you take time out. So your life is a lot simpler for a period when you're not, especially if the pattern's repeating where you're having toxic relationships. So have no relationship. Work on yourself. Concentrate on your family unit with yourself and Marley. Put yourself back together and start to feel joy and bliss, and then that is what you will attract. When you emit that frequency, those are the people you'll draw into your life. And then this person, if you even need them, because you don't need anybody, the only person that can ever really make you happy is you. This person will appear when the time's right.
Very excited about that. Very excited.
Are you? Finally, Hayley, you want to speak dream big. You want to speak on stage with Les Brown.
Yes.
Yeah. You aim high, you know, aim really high. Because I think, what is it? The saying, if you aim for the moon and you miss, you'll land in the stars.
That's the one.
You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah. Aim really high. Set yourself goals, dream big, aim high, and you can do anything. You just have to believe it, you know. Yeah. I believe I can do anything. I'm not sure Willow does all the time. And she does tell me to focus on one thing, because I do the radio, I do this video podcast, I write, I've done articles for magazines, I taught meditation, Ironman, ultra running, whatever. Also did the acting for a while. But I've now got a number of new projects. As besides this show, I'm doing some spin-off shows. I want to shoot a movie. I'd like to start playing chess again. I want to actually make music rather than just DJing. I want to actually make it. And I'm learning how to use that computer software, although I have an idea. I can't stop expanding. There's so much I want to do, and I just can't fit it all in.
I feel like I'm talking to my mirror, because I am exactly the same, and I believe that, you know, if you want to do everything, do everything. And with my wellbeing centre, I want to treat it eventually as a playground. So on a Monday, I want to teach Zumba. On a Tuesday, I want to teach meditation. On a Wednesday, you know, I just think, you know what, we can do that and we can be everything, but master one thing at a time.
I said to Willow last night jokingly, I said, by the way, and she said, what is it? What is it now? And I said, well, you know, I'm doing that and I'm doing that and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that. And I said, I think I'm going to become a chess grandmaster as well, joking. And she went, can you not just do one thing at a time? I went, no. I said, why should I?
Yeah, exactly.
we're tongue-in-cheek, we're joking. There's nothing serious, you know. But, I completely understand. You know, there's a term that people use. I've never, ever understood it. When somebody says, I'm bored. Bored? I've got a pile of books that I want to read. I've got 1,000 things I want to do. It's just not a world that exists or ever happens in my universe. And even if I'm not doing those things, I have to consciously, physically make the space to have some downtime because there's so much I want to do. I have to consciously choose to have that downtime, relaxed time, because if I don't, I'd never stop, ever. Yeah. You know?
I think that comes after you're an awakening, though, because you just start to realise how precious time is. And then every morning you wake up and you just can't wait to jump out of bed, can you?
Yeah. It is our most precious commodity.
It is.
Anything that can be replaced by money, you have a 10 grand watch and you lose it and you can buy another one, then that's not really valuable, is it? Because money can replace it. Something that's truly valuable cannot be bought. The most precious gift we ever have is experience, and that is in time. So time's our most valuable asset, you know.
I would like a Lambo, though. On a vision board, I've got a yellow Lamborghini. Just once in my life.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
But yeah.
Is Les Brown still doing public speaking?
So I think he does everything from home at the moment. He thinks this new Zoom idea is absolutely fantastic. He's like, I don't have to leave my front room. So yeah, I signed up to do a course with him and you could actually speak to him on the course. I'm yet to finish it. I'm one of those people that starts things and don't quite finish them. Yeah. But yeah. I
saw a picture of him recently and I think when I first started watching him, there were old clips. And so I saw a picture and he was grey. You know, and he looked so much older because the clips I was watching were old clips. But yeah, he made a big impact on my life. I've watched quite a few of his talks, you know, some of them 1 to 2 hours long. And he's really got a gift. Yeah. You know, he was a preacher, he's been a politician, he ran for office, he's done all these things. And he's experienced a lot of failure in his life as well. Yeah. You know, but that is part... Most success is made from many tiny failures. You go through life and, you know, things don't work out. They don't work out. They don't work out. But I say if you never give up, it's impossible to fail. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. And eventually, if you do not give up, you will succeed. You know, whatever your dreams are will come true. But most people, it's like, he tells a story about bamboo. Have you heard that one?
I don't think I have, actually.
Bamboo comes out the ground and I think it takes 5 years for it to sprout out the ground. And he says when you're growing the bamboo, if at any point you stop watering that bamboo, it won't pop out the ground 5 years later. But all the time, it takes 5 years for it to grow, not 2 weeks, not 2 months when it comes out the ground. It's the full 5-year period. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll stop watering the bamboo. You know, they'll have dreams, aspirations, and they'll give up. They say, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Even after 3 attempts, it's not working. It will, but you've got to keep believing and keep moving forward and keep striving for those dreams and goals. And the story is basically about never giving up. You know.
Definitely. And I think as well, I've done quite a few practices with the Tony Robbins where it gets you to visualise your future and what the worst future could look like if you didn't do those dreams and how many regrets you'd have when you get to, you know, the end of your life and you've not fulfilled it to where you've, you know, and you've not shared those gifts with people. So that's what I remind myself of every day.
And I was going to ask you, Hayley, do you meditate?
Oh, I do, yeah.
And what do you do? Is it in the morning, at night? Is it guided meditation? Do you use an app? What do you do?
So I do it in the morning and I start off with I'm not remember the name of it now. Is it Pariana breathing, where you breathe in and out one nostril?
Yes. Just
to really centre yourself. And then I like to just play some music and really clear my mind and just focus on my breath. But I've also recently started doing some Kundalini yoga as well. So I've been adding mantras into my meditations.
Is your mantra said externally or is your mantra inside your mind?
There's different ones that I do. So the practice with the Kundalini is that you say it out loud because it touches different parts of, pressure points in your mouth and things like that. So that the sound of it, creates like a sound healing as well.
If you do transcendental meditation, you have a mantra and it's never said externally. You say it in your mind.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing a Buddhist meditation and use a mantra, generally it's external. So you'd be like Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, etc. So mantra can be used in lots of different ways. Yeah. I'm curious because I have different guests on here and a lot of the guests meditate, but very few people do the same thing. Everybody's got even if you say I do transcendental meditation, within that, people still have their little version of it, and the little tweaks to it and stuff. So it's interesting.
I try and keep it very simple now as well. My friend Mickey said to me, all meditation is really connecting to yourself and connecting to your heart. So, every morning you want to just like check in with yourself and say, how am I feeling? Am I okay? Things like that.
It's learning to be fully present in the moment, and meditation's a tool, or they call it going into the gap or into the silence. And when you do that, it can be so many different vehicles to get you there, but it's learning how to just be switching this off, because when you learn to switch this off, it's such a relief.
Yeah.
I overthought everything for years, and I think that caused a lot of tension. I became angry and I became ill. Learned to quiet my mind, remove the tension from the system, and everything just starts to flow and put itself back together again. So, Hayley, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, if somebody wants to find out a bit more about what you do, then maybe give us your Facebook page, maybe give us your Instagram page, maybe give us your YouTube channel, and definitely give us your website.
Yeah. So I'm excited because my website actually launched last week. So my website is www.xenoshaven.co.uk.
Spell it for us.
XENO'S
Okay.
And my Facebook and Instagram, you can find me on Xenos Haven again.
Is it all one word or?
All one word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my personal is Xeno, XENO, 1986. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've not uploaded my YouTube channel yet, so watch this space.
Okay. Hayley Xenophontos, it's been bloody lovely having you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Really happy you came on. I know for a while there you had to think about it. I knew it was your destiny to come on. I knew you would come on when the time was right. I promise you this, when you watch this show back when it goes live, you'll be really glad you did it. Yeah.
I'm really glad I've done it now. And if I can inspire just one person, then, it's been worth it.
Well, you've already done that. You've inspired me.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave you with a quote from my book, From Pills to Peace, and it's a quote by me, Midnight McBride, and it's simply this. To be better than you were yesterday is a great achievement. Do this every single day. This is the path to enlightenment. Each day, small steps, chip, chip, chip away like a great sculptor, and just try and make small improvements. Keep moving forward. And the title of the second book is Moving Forward, Learning How to Glide. And my definition of glide is to elevate yourself and propel yourself forward using surrounding energies with zero resistance, with zero effort, in harmony with natural law. It's learning how to move through life without resistance. This has been Midnight McBride. I hope you've enjoyed the show. You can catch this show every Monday and every Thursday on YouTube. Then it also goes live 3 days later as an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Pandora, Amazon, Google, and lots of others. You can go to my website, midnightmcbride.com. You can get the book on Amazon as a paperback and a Kindle version. You can also get it in lots of other places. You can also get it as an audio book on Audible, ACX and iTunes. You can catch the radio show every Monday night on Salford City Radio, 94.4 FM. That's the Mind, Body and Spirit show with me, Midnight McBride. And you can catch me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Have a beautiful week. It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much, Hayley. Shalom.